What is something that you tolerated in past relationships that you never would now? Not being given the same amount of effort, or at least see that they're trying. I've been too much of a people pleaser in my past relationships. This. And when they say, oh, we don't do anything, but they never plan anything, so you have to plan everything and they still aren't happy. Guilt trips. I don't need grown men pouting and sulking that I'm going out to see some friends or go to the gym or do whatever else I'd like with my free time. The worst is when you don't even have plans with them. They just don't want you to have plans with anyone if it isn't with them. Insecure men will ruin your life and drag you down to hell. Never again. This. A million times this. Why do they do it? My husband is a major sulker. Currently it is a combo of me applying for a higher paying job than him plus seeing friends too much plus not having Shreks as much as he wants. Guess what, a hole. It won't work this time. I'm refusing to respond to the sulk. Mayo to see how long he will keep it up. Dishonesty. My ex, on top of being physically and emotionally abusive, would lie to me about little and insignificant things, like hiding the fact he bought a video game. It only grew into more serious lies from there. Honesty is one of my absolute top priorities in a relationship, both platonic and romantically. Constantly being second priority to his family. Yes, family comes first in some situations, but you can't be in a relationship and never prioritize your partner. That's just rude and unfair to your partner. My ex did this all the time and said, I'll prioritize you when we're married. Buddy, if our plans established a week or more in advance are constantly a lower priority to you than a random non-urgent errand your mum wants you to run after a year of dating, why would I marry you? Recently he wanted to go on a long drive and enjoy nature with me and I needed to go to a friend's wedding in Colorado. We decided to plan on saving up travel money and driving to Colorado together. That was about 3 months ago. I'm now in Colorado after my friend's wedding and my dad had to drive with me because it's a 10-hour drive and my boyfriend. He told me, when I texted him my rough idea of a plan for where to stay and what to do while in Colorado, that he actually isn't going to be able to commit to going because pandemic, as if that's a new issue, and he has continued to either make excuses or not text me ever since then. Ignoring me on purpose. My ex gave me the silent treatment for days when he was mad. It made me feel so crazy. My ex got really upset at me at one point and abruptly left the state for over a week without telling me where he was going. He refused to answer my calls. He also has a serious and dangerous mental illness, which had me worried out of my mind. At the time, I saw it as he's really hurting and needed to get away and didn't know what to do. Now that it's been over 2 years later, I can easily see that it was a method of punishing and manipulating me. He knew I'd be concerned about his safety and used that against me. It still fricks with my head. I have an amazing, loving partner now, and anytime he doesn't respond to me in a timely manner, my brain makes me assume he's ignoring me to manipulate me. Even though I know he would never do that. I freaking hate it. I'm working so hard on it, but I still resent my ex for causing me to be this way. Whoa, where to start? I'll just say the all-encompassing emotional abuse. I dated someone for 8 years and he was so belittling to me. Nothing I ever did was good enough. If I did the dishes, I didn't do them properly and he would make me wash them again, stuff like that. If I put something on a table, like walk and put my keys, purse down, and he felt they didn't belong there, he would throw them on the floor as a way to teach me to put them in their proper place. And on and on. I constantly walked on eggshells in the relationship wondering what I would do wrong next. Lost all my self-esteem, and just became his doormat. He used to joke to my parents that he was raising me. I told him once that I have never felt worse about myself than when I saw myself through his eyes. His response, well, no one likes to hear the truth. I vowed that I would never accept this treatment from anyone ever again. I learned to love myself again, became a stronger person, independent, and one of the most satisfying feelings I ever had was after cleaning the bathroom once and he told me I didn't do it properly. I told him, fine, you don't like it? then clean it your damn self and walked out. God, the look on his face was priceless and I felt powerful. I loved it. My ex did the same to me with the dishes and other chores if he felt they weren't done properly. One time I refused to redo them and he unplugged my Xbox and tried to put it in the sink to punish me. One of many things he did. Men. Lack of communication. It's not going anywhere without it. I won't be able to date a man that can't adult properly. Like simple cooking cleaning skills is a must now. A man who guilts me about my weight. I'm very average and what if I gain 5 pounds? I don't need someone making me feel bad for having a body. Those guys who make you feel bad about that second one never look like Chris Hemsworth either. Like, excuse me sir, maybe look in the mirror before you criticize me. It's projection. They don't like their own bodies so they project that insecurity onto other people. Being emotionally unavailable. For sure, the fear of commitment or fear of letting themselves get too emotionally attached to avoid feeling hurt feels oxymoronic. Like, maybe it's a form of anxious self-preservation, but if you don't admit to having feelings or act on feelings that you already have, because you don't want to get hurt only dooms the possibility of a happy relationship. Jealousy or any controlling traits, like wanting my phone passcode or telling me who I can or cannot spend time with. I do not want to spend my life trying to reassure a jealous person. There is never an end to it. I recently realized that myself. I thought maybe it would stop when he realized that there was absolutely nothing going on with a co-worker, but then it moved to a different person. I felt like I was constantly under a microscope, with so much questioning. Dating without a goal. By goal I mean moving together, marriage, having kids, education, career goals, etc. I'm on my late 20s. If I want someone who gives me company I already have a great group of friends and if I need some action I'll look for a person only for that. But I'm no longer going to accept being in a situationship or relationship with anyone who is not on the same page about what we want and live. That's wasting my time and mental health. I was coming here to say something just like this. Dating for years and years without really knowing where it's going. I did it too much when I was younger, but now I want someone who is upfront with me, not just figuring it out. His mother's opinion being treated more important than mine. Holy shoot, been there. After 2.5 years too. Just marry your mama, for frick's sake. A lack of physical attention and general thoughtfulness. Not putting the same amount of energy into us that I do. Someone with severe, untreated managed mental illness. I'm not a therapist or psychologist. I'm your girlfriend. I'm not here to fix your life or walk on eggshells due to your moods. I'm not here for you lying to your psychologist and not addressing root issues. I'm not going to have my life revolve around your mental health that you're not even trying to sort out. I'm all for being supportive of a partner and sticking through hard parts, but I can't fix your mental health. You gotta do the work there. Being used as a human fleshlight. Being guilted into Shreks that is awkward and often painful. Having to grit my teeth to get through Shreks. Sustaining injuries to my PP because my past partners would just ram it in. Thinking not being in pain meant the Shreks was good. Crossing boundaries I've already mentioned with girls, calls at late night with female friends, pics with his arms around their waist, sleepovers, calling me crazy, a bitch, and gaslighting. Not offending me when his friends are shoe-talking me. Innocent locker room talk about women with the boys ugh. Being the therapist to a guy who was not over his ex. Talking to his ex still. Men who say they won't change because it's too much effort or their pride is too big when I'm only asking to work together and compromise, not change their entire personality. Disrespecting my parents. Not giving equal effort in the relationship. Cheating, dishonesty. Being overprotective of a phone. Drugs. Yelling during an argument. My ex's constant need to know more than me all the freaking time about every freaking thing, and his absolute inability to acknowledge that I knew something he didn't. I can't believe I'll let this shoot slide for as long as I did. Disrespect and lack of boundaries. unmatched energy, inability to communicate, and passive aggressiveness. Going through a breakup now where I poured so much into the person and they weren't able to reciprocate. They also never communicated their needs or wants, so I was always coming up short without even knowing it. Like, how can I satisfy your love languages when you won't even tell me what they are? How can we resolve a situation if you won't tell me what's wrong? It's been so frustrating, but I've definitely learned some tough lessons about communication and boundaries. Allowing everything to be about him. I want a need for my mental health, my future partner to notice when normal household tasks need doing and do them without being prompted or nagged. Being made to feel guilty or ashamed. That's never, under any circumstance, okay. Also, harsh judgment of others. That's an ugly personality trait. Another one that others may not agree with, but that's okay, is unmatched energy. I want someone who will be the last out of the water with me, so to speak. I want someone who likes to go out when I want to go out and stay in when I want to stay in. Stay out as late as I want or call it at the same time as me. I don't mean this in a one-sided way either, like I want our energy to match, if that makes sense. Not being a priority in their life, dishonesty about small stuff, what else could you be lying about, and having Shreks before having commitment. Petty little jokes. My exes didn't understand that they weren't funny if both parties didn't agree. One's favorite line was "you're lucky you're pretty," which now gets me riled up just thinking about. Poor younger me, she truly didn't know. In the past I tolerated disrespect. Just because I was insecure about myself and I used to think that I was the problem. Now I understand that I am okay, and if someone does not respect me then he/she does not deserve my time.